What's up, guys? It's Cake King, and welcome to the Strawberry Crunch Cupcake tutorial. All right, so this is going to be another one of those mini tutorials where I'm going to walk you through the recipe and we'll go through the baking process and the decorating. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to get started right in with the recipe. With this one, all you're going to need is one box of cake mix. For this one, I'm using strawberry cake mix from Pillsbury today. You can use Duncan Hines, any of them if you want to. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and pour my cake mix into my mixer. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out all of my dry ingredients first. So I'm gonna put one box of that cake mix in there. I'm gonna add in 1 cup of the all-purpose flour, and y'all know I love Pillsbury flour because it's just lighter. So add 1 cup of flour. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. Now, to this, I'm also going to add some strawberry jello. And I'm only going to do, I normally do the smaller pack, but this is the large box of it because that's all they had. But on the smaller one, I normally add in about a half a box of it, a half a pack of it. So I'm going to add in just just enough. You can kind of eye that, but if you get the smaller box, you can do a half a pack. This is a 6 ounce box here. So if the smaller ones, I forgot how many ounces they come in, but I normally do a half a pack of those, half a pack of the smaller one. Now to this, now I'm gonna go ahead and get everything blended together. Notice that I didn't sift anything once I put it in there. I just went straight into just adding in the ingredients in the bowl. And I'm just going to let all of that blend together. And you can already smell that strawberry aroma in there. All right. So while that is mixing, I'm going to add in 1 cup of water. I'm going to add in my vegetable oil, which is about a half a cup of that. A half a cup of buttermilk. And notice that I'm doing all of this while it's mixing, all right? You ain't got to be waiting. I love a recipe that's like a dump method where you ain't got to wait to do everything. You can just put everything in there. You ain't got to sift stuff together. It just makes it so much easier. And then I'm going to go in and start adding in my eggs. So you need 3 eggs. And I normally let them combine one by one. And I'll add that last one in there. Like I said, this is super, super easy and quick. Um, they taste amazing. I love strawberry. It's not my favorite flavor, but it is really, really a popular flavor, and it is one of the probably my third top selling flavor because wedding cake is number one. So I'm going to be using some strawberry flavor. I'm just using some McCormick strawberry extract. You can use Laura Ann's. You can use Portia has a great one. The PK elixirs, and y'all know I'm the 1 tablespoon guy, but I'm gonna do about a tablespoon and a half of strawberry flavoring in there. I just like for my stuff to taste like whatever it is supposed to taste like. And I don't think that you can ever. I ain't never heard nobody say that nothing tastes like too much of something. So you can't never have too much vanilla or anything like that. So I'm gonna turn this up, and all I'm doing is just getting everything combined. All right. So you don't want to, of course, you don't want to over mix nothing. So I'm just going around scraping the bottom of the bowl. Now I told you, and if you watched the last couple of tutorials, you'll know that this mixer it does a really good job at scraping the bottom. It goes all the way down, and this mixer is in my Amazon storefront. So if you click the link in my bio on Instagram, you can have access to my Amazon storefront, and all of those items are in that storefront. All right. So now this is really smooth, and all of the lumps are out. So we're going to go right into adding it to our cupcake liners. All right. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get our batter put into our liners. Now, I've already set my oven to 325 degrees, which is what I normally bake everything on because it always helps to bake low and slow. So 325 is like that sweet spot. So I'm using the yellow scoop. Y'all, I never know what size this scoop is, and I say it all the time, but it is the perfect size for cupcakes, and I always get the perfect round cupcakes every time I use it. So whenever you do, I just make sure I scrape the side of my bowl to get it, make sure it's even, and it fills the liner up to exactly the height that I need it for the cupcakes to rise in. So super easy to um to have it measured out that way because when you go and trying to eye it like we used to do, you always end up getting cupcakes that are either too fat, the dome is too fat on there, or some of them will be overflowing out of the pan. Now, what I normally see is cupcake strawberry mix sometimes makes a lot. Duncan Hines strawberry, I don't know if it's just the amount that's in the box, but it normally makes way more cupcakes than sometimes that I actually need, but I still end up using it for something. So I know that right now we're gonna get a good the 2 dozen out of this, which is this pan is a 2 dozen pan, and this I'll still have some batter left over. So I'm gonna go ahead. I got a couple more, and I probably can actually get it's still a good amount of batter in there. So I may be able to even get maybe another 6 cupcakes out of it, out of this. So I'll get those put in the oven as well when these come out. But yeah, it normally makes a good amount of cupcakes. So a little bit that recipe goes a long way. So now we're gonna put these in the oven and let them bake for at 325 for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I say 15 to 20 minutes because it depends on your oven. Okay. And one thing that you can do to help your baking process is get an oven thermometer. That really does help making sure that your oven is actually calibrated the right temperature and actually working right. So let's go ahead and get these baked. Okay, guys, so while our cupcakes are baking, I wanted to go ahead and go over some of the things that we're going to be using. So, of course, you're going to need some fresh strawberries, and while I'm cutting these up, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about some of the stuff we're going to be using. Now, there is a product that you can get this actual strawberry glaze. You can get it from your cake supply store, or you can get it from like different places online. I know that Webstaurant sells it. It's like they come in all these different flavors, but it's a glaze that you can use to actually fill your cupcakes with. Now, if you can't get your hands on this because it's a really good product, of course you can make it yourself and use fresh berries and cook them down and add some sugar and lemon juice and create your own. Or you can go to Walmart or Publix or whichever one you have in your area, and you can get some of the strawberry glaze. And this glaze can be used to either fill your cupcakes with, or you can dip the strawberry in this and actually set it on top of the cupcake, which is also a really, really nice addition to it as well. And it really just makes the cupcake stand out. Now, the crumbs that we're going to be using now, I believe in working smarter and not harder. So I'm not making no strawberry crunch crumbs because it's just no point in doing it when Yum Crumbs has already got some out there and it makes it so much easier for bakers to use. So the strawberry crunch Yum Crumbs, you can find them on their website at yumcrumbs.com. They come in so many different flavors and sizes and everything. So if you make a lot of these stuff, and if you've taken the strawberry crunch cake class or the strawberry cheesecake cupcake class, I use these crumbs a lot on my desserts. And they are really really versatile for different things. You can use them on ice cream and just different toppings and stuff like that. But it's a really good product, and I've been using it for years, and I work with them a lot. But I definitely won't tell you guys anything that I don't use. So I'm just getting these strawberries cut up, and it's good to make the best of your time while stuff is baking or doing, when you're doing other stuff, and that's just using your time wisely. So now, what you did not see is me actually making buttercream for these because, of course, I'm using my own buttercream. This is King's buttercream. This is the vanilla, and I had already made some up with vanilla bean flavoring in it. So all I did was just whip it down and add in vanilla bean flavoring to it. And I don't know if you guys can see the specks of vanilla beans in there, but y'all, the icing itself is so creamy. You actually can see the vanilla beans in there. So sometimes people call me and be like, "It's little black specks in the icing." I'm like, "Baby, that's vanilla beans. That's the good stuff. That ain't no specks or nothing, baby. That's the good stuff." So I'll be using my vanilla bean icing for these cupcakes as well. So while the cupcakes are baking, they probably got another 5 or 10 minutes on them. We've already gotten this stuff prepped. Now, I like to be prepped. Everything that I'm going to use, I like to have it already ready to go and lined up so that I'm not, behind on anything. We'll go over the tip and everything in the next part of the video where I'll show you what tip that I'll actually be using to ice these with. Because even if you don't know how to pipe, the tip that I'm going to show you will make it so much easier to do. You're also going to need a bowl, and I'm sorry for making so much noise in y'all ear, but you're going to need a bowl as well because the crumbs are going to go in a bowl, and once the cupcakes come out, we're just going to coat the side of the cupcakes. So it makes everything easier. I like to put everything on the side of me so I can make it easier to get in reach. Right next to my stove, I have a cutting board. So I normally try to put everything on that cutting board that I'm going to use for whatever project that I'm working on. And that makes it easier for me to just go back and forth and keep my workspace cleared off. So now all I got to do is when the cupcakes come out, let those cool, bring my cutting board over, and I have everything worked on the side of me. So it just helps out a lot with keeping everything organized. So a lot of people always ask me, how do I keep my space so clean? It's because I'm cleaning up as I go, and I got everything situated in stations so that I can find everything. It just makes the flow easier. So all right, so we'll get right into the cupcakes, letting them cool, and then we'll get them decorated. All right. All right, guys. So we back now, and our cupcakes have cooled down, and we want to go ahead and start getting them filled. All right. So I'm just going to take a round tip and do this. What I'm gonna do is just take my tip and I just stick it right in there, just to core a little hole in there, so that it comes out like that. So you have that little bit of a hole there. So we'll do those. So all of the cupcakes will have the filling in there, and it makes it easier to fill the cupcakes with the strawberry filling when you have that hole already in there. So and some people just push them right through in the top, and I mean you can do it either way. But I like to go ahead and put a hole in there. Now these are going to be extremely moist. If you did the recipe right, then it's definitely going to be moist. They also make like little cupcake cores as well that you can use to get this done. But I find that just use what you already have instead of going out buying stuff. And that's the reason why a lot of these classes, I teach these classes like this, because it's normally stuff that you already have at home that you don't even think about. So I'm gonna go ahead and core these out. All right, we're gonna get all of them done. Now, don't throw away the cake that you're taking out of here. Now, I mean, you can eat it if you want to or whatever you do, but I don't ever throw away cake because I normally end up using it for something else. So when these crumbs actually dry out, they are good toppings as well if you were doing a different type of cupcake. But for these, um, We don't need them, but I will put them in a separate, like a Ziploc bag, and I just freeze them because I never know what project I'm going to be doing that requires me to have cake crumbs. All right. So you got all those poured out. Now I'm just going to take my strawberry filling that we talked about, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it right in the middle. And remember, you can use either this one if you find it, or if you can use the strawberry glaze to put in there. Okay, quick, easy, simple process right there. Um, Not messy at all. Once you have all of your stuff done, and that's why I say it's so helpful to have everything already prepped and set up for you to go. So it just makes it easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the first one. We're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you exactly how we do these. So I take my cupcake now, and I'm just going to pipe around. Now, if you have a round tip, you can use that. I'm using a large star tip. This particular tip that I'm actually using is a 8B. It is a really, really nice star tip. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around where that filling was so that you have that right there. You know, you can actually see it around there. And then I go right into just dipping it into my crumbs. Okay. So that you have it looks just like that. All right. So from there, you got your little assembly line going and you can start and keep going. All right. So we're just going to ice around, and I normally just go ahead and knock them out. It just makes the assembly part easier. If you don't have a tip, you can do a round tip as well. It's still going to come out the same because most of it is going to be crumbs on there anyway, and the crumbs are going to cover up whatever design you got on the tip anyway. I just happen to like that round tip. Now, before you actually start trying to transport these or put them in a box, leave them on a sheet tray and refrigerate them, okay? Because it makes it so much easier to handle them when you're putting them in your containers, because otherwise, you're gonna end up having stuff everywhere, y'all. It'll be crumbs everywhere. The icing gonna be everywhere. So it's always good to handle them cold once you are finished decorating them. And I'm just gonna keep taking these around in there. Now, just a tip for those who desire, and y'all know I'm always going to give you a little tidbit of something. If you desire to teach something like this, or I mean, whatever class you take and you decide you want to perfect it and actually teach it, if you end up having a whole bunch of products like this, it's so easy to just list it at a discounted rate. If you wanted to teach a class on this, and actually offer it at a discounted rate to your people who in your area for them to buy the cupcakes. So like these particular cupcakes, I wanted to make this video today. It was really just for the content purposes, but I just posted them and said, hey, if anybody want to buy the cupcakes, you're welcome to buy them at a discounted rate. So it's like a win-win. You get something, they get something. And people appreciate that because I guarantee you, it's people out there that want to try your products, but some people just don't want to admit that they just can't afford the luxury price of having a luxury cake or a service done. Like, you know, getting a private chef is a luxury service and it's something that everybody can't afford, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they shouldn't be privileged to it just because they can't afford it. So that's the reason why these things like this are so important. All right. So we got a couple of those done, and now we're going to use our berries to go ahead and top these off with. All right. So I was telling you earlier that you can use your strawberry glaze to actually dip your berry in. So I'm gonna make sure that this don't get all over me this time because I normally have it everywhere. So to do that, I'm just gonna grab a couple of my long toothpicks and I'm gonna take my half of the berry. I'm gonna dip it right in that glaze. And it came off my toothpick, but I'm gonna put it right on the cupcake. All right. And all you just did was elevate that cupcake even more. Okay. And sometimes you just gotta be careful because it may slip off of it. But it's easier to put it on there than to get it all on your hands. So, and not only do they look good, y'all, they smell amazing. The strawberry filling in there, and listen, the leaves gonna come off of there. It's okay. Oh, let me put them. Let me keep them in order. All right. And you may not be able to get it completely in there. You may can. I just wanted to make sure I just got it, just glaze it up a little bit. If you've seen like cakes and stuff in Whole Foods and stuff, they normally have these glazed strawberries and stuff on there. You can also use apricot jam. You can get it from like Home Goods or the grocery store even sell it too. But you can use apricot jam just to glaze over your fruit like this. And it actually helps to preserve the fruit and keep it from drying out. And it's called apricot glaze. It's just like jelly, but you know they call it glaze, but it's like jelly. Okay, so those are the how it ends up looking. Super moist. These cupcakes are so delicious, y'all. You can package them in either your containers, your cupcake containers, or your cupcake boxes. There are boxes in my Amazon storefront. There are containers. So many different types of packaging in my storefront. So hopefully, you guys can get them packaged up in such a really nice way to give them a really cute look. This is a real easy idea to do for whatever the occasion. You really don't need an occasion to eat strawberry cupcakes at all. They just that good, and this is one of those flavors that people are going to continue to come back to you for because it's just that good. All right, so I'm just gonna put this one on here because I had one more to do, and that was on that one. All right. So hopefully you guys have learned something from these, and I can't wait to see what you create. If you do make this recipe, make sure you tag me in it. I would love to see what you came up with. But those are the strawberry crunch cupcakes using the yum crumbs. They look amazing and they taste even better. So again, thank you guys for taking the time out to join in on these mini class on strawberry crunch cupcakes. All right. Thank you guys.